What's up, guys? Welcome to John's Daily Hustle. So, you'll never guess what I found. I was out riding with my brother, and we rode past the guy's house, and by the road, by his trash cans, there was two weed eaters sitting on the ground. So here they both are. You got the Stihl FS66 and the Murray string trimmer. They're both straight shaft, but I just want to show you guys that it is the Stihl 66 and the Murray. That is its part number. I don't know if you got, there you go. You can see the model number anyways. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but this Murray is the attachment series, but from what I know, Murray's usually just throwaway weed eaters. You know, they're not really all that great, but we're going to see if it'll run. Maybe I can flip it. And the Stihl had this brush cutter attachment. You know, it's got these blades on it like that, which they need to be replaced. So that's just looking at it right now. Now, the day that I did find these in the trash, I did throw a splash of fuel in them. And they both do have fuel leaks. So this one leaks from the carburetor, that one leaks out of the fuel tank. So I sprayed just a little bit of carb cleaner down in both of these to see if they'll run. Well, this one fired up on the fuel alone, but this one only ran on when I sprayed the carb cleaner in there. So I assumed they both just needed their carbs cleaned out. This one would start, but it would die pretty quickly. This one would only start on carb cleaner and then die. So I took them both out, took them both apart and cleaned the carbs anyways. After cleaning the carbs, I actually got that one to start. It did need a brand new spark plug in it, as the old one that was in there was probably the original. I mean, it was pretty old, which if you guys know, this is a pretty old model Stihl anyways. But after changing the spark plug, oh, and the air filter completely disintegrated when I took it off, which from what I understand, that's common. When fuel gets up on it, it'll disintegrate it pretty good. Now, the one problem I do have with this, because you guys know, obviously I wanted to try and keep this. The one problem I do have with the Stihl is because it's older, it's very hard to find parts for or get parts for. But luckily, I know a few little tips and tricks to get parts and stuff like that. So we'll go on that we'll touch on that in a later video. Now, I was able to get that to start and run. It just needed the carb tuned after it got started. But I'll show you guys a little clip of that starting and running. So as for this, after I got the carburetor cleaned out, I got it to start and it would idle. I adjusted the carburetor tuning and everything. Got to start and it would idle, but it would only idle, and as soon as you touch the gas, it would die. So I would start it, and then I was able to just lightly rev it up. Well, when I was able to lightly rev it up, maybe not even a quarter throttle or less, that's when I noticed what it was doing. It was almost like it was bogging. Well, then I go down here and I look at the shaft, and that's when I realized what was happening. This wasn't spinning at all. If you guys can see, I mean, I'm really putting some pressure on it to make it spin. So I believe it's actually, I thought it was actually just, you know, destroyed in here. Not destroyed, but I thought the gearbox was seized because they probably didn't ever, you know, lube it or anything, so it's probably seized. So I ended up taking the shaft apart, not the shaft, but because it's attachment series, I took that off, started it, and it's actually got some severe issues right in here with where, if you guys can picture the shaft that runs along in there, the shaft is actually seized up all the way back here. So for what it would probably cost, you could probably fix it, but for what it will probably cost, it's not worth it to me. So I've got it listed. I'm going to try and sell it as a non-running weed eater for, I don't know, 10 bucks, 15 bucks. If somebody wants it for maybe parts or, you know, whatever. But if not, it'll probably just end up back in the trash. As you guys can see, that fuel tank is pretty old. So it's not just cracked. I mean, it's actually leaking out by where the cap and the threads are and everything. So I'm going to replace the fuel tank. And other than that, I believe it's going to be a pretty badass string trimmer. So I've got a fuel tank coming for it. And we're also going to take the brush cutter attachment off. At least this, the head for it and the guard. And I'm actually going to make this just a regular straight shaft string trimmer. I'm going to get an Echo Speed Feed or the Speed Feed 400 head, and we're going to put it on there. And then this will be my backup weed eater, or maybe even my main weed eater. They may have more power than the Echo up there, but we'll see. And all in all, you know, considering I found these in the trash, I got them both free. I put in $25, so that's the tune-up kit and the fuel tank for that. So 25 bucks for that. I didn't put up anything on that but time. So 25 bucks for a pretty badass weed eater is pretty sweet. So real quick before we end this video, I did want to show y'all that I did put the new gas tank on, and it's quite considerably bigger than my Echo gas tank. So I know it's going to be a little bit more of a powerful engine. It might suck a little more fuel, but I'm kind of hoping and gambling that it'll last a little bit longer on fuel per tank than my Echo will. So I want to hear from you guys. Have y'all found anything in the trash, or just laying aside somewhere, or given free because it didn't work or whatever? I want to know what you guys got. Comment it below and let me know what you guys do. So as always, guys, thanks for watching.